Okay, so one of the things I was talking about earlier was food. One of the things I did with food was uh, potent extractions, creating hash and extractions hash. Just like you extract hash out of wheat, I was extracting hash out of raspberries, and I was extracting hash out of, other fruits and vegetables and plants and sort of stuff. I was creating extractions and then creating potent extractions, potent versions of those extractions and then mixtures of those extractions to create unique flavors with the same sort of palette or the same sort of profile, but a different balance of a flavor or a bit different sort of flavor. And so that's one of the things I was doing with food, was experimenting with um, extractions and what they all taste like and mixing extractions together. Um, this led to one of my favorite things, was just burnt cheese. So what I did with burnt cheese was basically just make a lot of burnt cheese. What I did was I burned the cheese to a grill, then I grinded it off, and I burnt the cheese some more, and then I grinded it off, and I burnt the cheese some more, then I grinded it off till I had a, like bacon bits or like an ingredient to itself, a whole ingredient to itself of burnt cheese. I did the same with steak, with peppered steak or seasoned steak. I'd grill it till I'd burn it till it's black, and then I'd grind it off, and then I'd grill it till it's black again, and I'd grind it off. I'd season it again, and I'd grill it till it's black, and I'd grind it off, and I'd create this like bacon bit, like recipe that's got this like hard smoked flavor, this really hard smoky flavor that I really would like to try. I haven't actually tried it. I invented this like 10 years ago with the afterlife, and I don't get to try anything. I'm sitting here with nothing. But anyway, the other thing is like the biggest thing that I do is creativity. Like I like to draw out those directions, like hard to soft, cold to hot, electrical to non-electrical, ionized to non-ionized, positive to negative. All the directions that things go in, strong to weak. You know, this to that, that to this, opposites from one another, all the different categories that it falls into, draw out all the directions that it goes in, and create a grid out of everything that goes in there. And lists. Lists is one of the best things that you can do, is like add questions. One of the best things you can do is add questions, and every time you approach an experiment, you ask all these questions. You take all the questions from the best scientists, general questions, like, does it whatchamacallit, does it work better in hot temperature? Does it work better in cold temperature? There's a general question you should ask for all your experiments. And you create a list of all these different questions that you ask. And you use this, and creativity, you realize that there's an infinite ways are possible. Infinite ways are possible to do anything. Like I've got 3 different versions of my generator. I can come up with a 4th version of a generator. You can come up with a different way to make a TV. Like you're going to find this multi-society that we all have different ways of making TVs and different ways of making computers and stuff. So there's an infinite ways to do anything. And creativity is very important in drawing out your creativity, because that's where you come up with questions that haven't been asked before. You come up with experiments that haven't been done before. Is through creativity, right? So as far as honing in on your creativity, that's what I've done here. I'm not a great engineer or anything. I'm just a great creative. I'm a great creative guy. I've honed in on my creativity and applied it all over the place over the years, and have all the stuff from it. So then, one of the things that one of my sci-fi inventions is taking a bunch of metal squares, or any kind of material squares. This could be an alloy. This could be a polyanomers plastic alloy mixed with mineral elements that were created from a spinning earth far away. But anyway, you take these metal plates, and you either like lace them, or you connect gel to them, and you basically try to supercharge them. Try to supercharge these metal plates until you finally get them to move, or these whatever material plates these plates are, and you finally get them to move. And then when you finally get them to move, you take them to your giant AI machine again, and you keep on experimenting with the different charges and the different polarities. Maybe you're not using electricity. Maybe you're using some sort of plasma to supercharge them. Maybe you're using some sort of quantum to supercharge them. Whatever works, right? Whatever combination of materials and supercharging availability, forces availability works. And you take these metal plates, and you get the AI to construct a cube. Your first cube out of these metal plates. So this is the birth of my robot. This is the DNA of my robot. where you can see these metal plates coming together into the cube for the first time. That is the DNA, like floating Jurassic Park DNA of the futuristic robot, because this is how we create transformers. This is how we create microscopic plates, really tiny plates, and we form cubes. And just like Minecraft or something, we can form any sort of technical shape, any sort of like tool shape, you know, whether it's a Phillips head or the square. I can't even remember. I used to work at Canadian Tire and I can't even remember. But anyway, any sort of tool shape, any sort of advanced tool shape, you know, this is where you learn to create and form shapes out of nothing, where you can take one arm and have multiple tools that you can form out of this one arm with these little supercharged blocks. So this is a formation of the future DNA of my robot. This goes along to reflectors, which I'll talk about in a second, but another big advancement was biological robots. Some of my robots have like karmatic systems and biological systems and like incubated brains and incubated, you know, digestive systems and incubated immune systems. And, you know, we use that and we create a thinking robot that grows out of these biological robots. Well, one of the interesting things you can do is artificial cells. Artificial cells is like try to recreate a cell with like a reproductive system. It has a reproductive system, it has an immune system, it has some sort of system for eating or digesting, I imagine, nutrients of some sort of kind. You try to create this artificial cell, and you try to put it into real cell environments. And then you build, you know, technology out of these artificial cells, and what sort of information you discover with these artificial cells as they adapt into real cell environments and become a real cell and work with real cells. And you discover how that works. And create a robot out of that. You can create a robot out of that, or you can do like multiple healthcare experiments in all sorts of petri dishes, and just petri dishes and petri dishes of robotic experiments that you can come up with for that. And so then I got reflectors. Reflectors are from my Gauntlet, and that's again with the supercharged plates. Well, what we're doing is trying to supercharge the plates, so when you hit it with the luminosity, it leaves with more luminosity. So it attracts a particle. When you hit it with a particle, it leaves with more particles, or it leaves with less particles, or you alter the balance, or you impact things because you supercharged a plate or ionized a plate, or you know, used a different material that works and reflected the laser off these things. So that's the reflectors again. You want to look for anything that has a crazy uncontrollable effect on electricity, lasers, and particles. So anything that just, any sort of component, like you take a transformers, like wrapping wires, copper wire around a magnet and then passing electricity through it, like we can come up with some way crazier stuff that like there's some way more dangerous sort of stuff to electricity. One of my theories is, one of my technologies is my channel strip technology. And this is where I take a channel strip and I blow it up. Like I crank so much juice through this channel strip that it explodes. And then what I do, I measure things and I adapt things and I make a better channel strip. And then I try to explode that channel strip. Then I make an even better channel strip, and I do all these different things. I crank the ohms, I crank the wattage, I crank the voltage, do all these sorts of things to destroy this channel strip and make this infinitely powered channel strip, to the point where this is a concept, this is an idea that is a technology within itself. Just like making clean anything, anything clean for the environment. Like taking the environment, being good at creating stuff clean for the environment. You can take any product on the market and make a new product that is better for the environment. That is a technology within itself. Same with the channel strip. And you want to recognize how people are programmed karmatically. Like the breeders breeding us. One of the things that somebody's ratting on the farmers for is that you're breeding us and you're not supposed to breed anything. You're supposed to invite people to a universe. You're not supposed to breed them into it, drug them into a universe. It's the other thing, when you carry your breeding around them, you're like drugging your counter, you're drugging your partner into that's what you're calling seducing them, is some breeder's drug that is being injected into your partner now. That's like you're turning on drugs and you're drugging my daughter and then you're having sex with her. Even though you're not doing drugs, the breeders are doing this for you. That's why you turn off the breeding, so you're not drugging everyone. And you find things that are karmatically recognizable, like ratting on the breeding. I can have technology and not breeding. Well, that's all the time I have. Sorry.